Welcome to lesson 14. This lesson's really about you, the physical and mental journey of entrepreneurship. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about the emotions you may experience and things you could do to manage your time around those experiences. Right now is the time to build your mental model of what you might envision as your life as an entrepreneur. So let's get started. In the next couple sections, we're going to talk a bit about some of the common challenges of entrepreneurship, including burnout and imposter syndrome. We'll talk about tactics to build routines and habits for you to support yourself and how to stay motivated through the ups and downs. We'll talk a bit about some of the pros and cons of getting input and feedback as you roll out and launch your business. Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle choice in many ways. It's about having flexibility and being adaptive. It's about having the ability to paint this picture of kind of the life you want to live, but also the vision you have for a future state. And as a result, entrepreneurship's not only about your day-to-day lifestyle, but also that vision that you have for the future. Because of this, because there's so much control that you have over your schedule, your day-to-day life, and even the vision that you have, you'll just experience a lot of highs and lows. And some of it is just, it just doesn't play out the way you envisioned it. And sometimes you are questioning the vision that you have or the assumptions that you made in your entrepreneurial journey, or even the lifestyle aspects of being an entrepreneur. You have to remember that, when you started this journey as an entrepreneur, you wanted to have control, you wanted to make those big decisions, you envisioned a better future state. And again, as the result, the highs are really high and the lows are lower because it's so personal. The highs are high because the decisions that you made and the strategies that you put together, you called it, right? It feels great when, the things that you envision come to fruition. But when highs are high, the lows get lower. And we have to remember that those are times for learning and reflection. And it's probable that you'll experience more lows than highs, right? Because you're just not going to make a lot of, not 100% of your decisions are going to be right. It's more likely going to be maybe 1/3, 2/3, or 25% or to 75%. It depends on your level of experience in the space and being an entrepreneur. But you're regardless of whether you're a serial entrepreneur or not, you're just going to make mistakes because conditions change or assumptions could be wrong and life happens, right? And so what you really want to think about in those times where those mistakes come together, it's really time for learning and reflection. It's when you can learn to improve your next release, next version, or the experience you have with your next customer. It's also common for many new entrepreneurs to think that they, in these conditions, they have to work harder. And what I also found is that people end up just working harder on the tactical things. And some of those tactical things aren't going to make a big difference in the outcome in the future. And it's really not going to improve the overall strategic vision. So what you really need to do is make sure that you schedule the routines that are necessary to have time for strategic thinking, right? Use that strategic time wisely and commit to it and focus on strategies. Don't go off track and focus on the tactics that you need to employ. It's also helpful for you to take breaks, right? And having that work-life balance is so essential. It's essential because when you take breaks from your work, it allows you to come back with a view of the bigger picture, right? sometimes when you're in the weeds of your work, it's hard to step back. And so you need to step away from it altogether to come back, look at it with a clean slate, and to see whether the things that you're envisioning are really coming into place, or are the strategies aligned to your vision? Are the tactics aligned to your strategies? It takes a lot of reflection and critical thinking around what you assumed in your entrepreneurial journey. If you don't have time for this strategic thinking, then I think it's time for you to delegate some tasks and really thinking about what are the tasks that you have to unload to carve out time for the strategic thinking. So hope this helps you kind of step back from kind of the day-to-day grind of entrepreneurship and realize that part of the journey is just checking to make sure that you're moving in the direction, holding true to that vision, but figuring out if you need to make adjustments to your strategy.